Good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for a very active trading day. Wow. It is Monday, and we are the 29th of January, 2024, and we're getting on to just about 6:50 p.m. Central Time. It's crazy. That's putting it mildly. You know, you looked at all that happened this weekend and then today. There were events all over the place. First, we know the sadness, and I feel it. Three soldiers lost and others maimed. We don't know how serious. Some, they say, is very serious, may not make it. The Biden administration attacking verbally that it's Iran, which it is. They are correct on that. But that's where it should be left alone. You don't tell Iran, as the Biden administration is doing, well, our options are everything. We probably won't touch them on their soil. That's a sign of weakness. I didn't say you should touch them on the soil. I'm saying shut up. Whatever you're going to do, you do. That means you don't want to hit them on the soil, fine, but you don't tell them what you're going to do. Why don't you tell them on Thursday of next week at about noon, we're going to attack them in Syria, Iraq. You don't do that. You don't tell your enemy what you're going to do, period. If the world needs assurances, you say, period, this. We have no intent of starting another regional conflict. We will take care of and we will let Iran know our displeasure. End of discussion. I am thinking of running for office. So as we look at this, you had that, and you woke up last night, at least I did. I'm up, I don't sleep a lot. And I'm looking at the markets and I'm going, why aren't they running? I thought crude oil would be up $3 because the first thing on everybody's mind when the U.S., now soldiers killed, they're going to go after it. The oil's going to be shut off. And then it dawned on me, the oil is shut off. Who's shipping oil? Even the Russians can't get their cargoes through the Red Sea now. The Houthis are hitting everything. So it's shut off through there. Do you honestly think that OPEC doesn't want to sell to the U.S. the blends we need? Are you kidding? They need every customer they can get. The war, or the word war, is between Iran and the United States. Last I looked, we get along with the UAE, Qatar. We get along with Saudi Arabia. I can go on and on down the list. Iran's a different ballgame. Has been since the Shah left. And that's just how it's going to be. Okay, but that doesn't mean that oil won't flow in the world, and the market realized that. Now, what the market probably got nervous about, and you carry from A to Z, the U.S. is going to take out, like I have recommended, if Iran got out of control, which it appears they are, take out some of their oil facilities. It's pretty easy. And everybody's going to worry they'll attack back. We are America. I don't know what more to say, okay? They are a small country at the end of the day. We either have the military might or we don't. If we don't do it. Pretty simple. Am I saying to do it? You know better than that. I'm being facetious, so don't write me about it. I'm not trying to start World War III. But I am saying that I believe governments in a time like this don't tell their enemies what they're going to do or what they're not going to do. You be quiet, you go about your business, and you make them hurt for it. When you take a look at where the metals are, a bounce, but nothing crazy. Now we took off in the stock market again. It's the never-ending market. Are you aware that over 100 companies that are in the S&P 500 report this week? So it's crazy in earnings time. Next, we heard from Secretary Yellen. She came out and announced the amount of money for the first quarter refunding, and it's $55 billion or so less than thought was needed. That just set this market and sent it flying because now the Fed the Treasury, it doesn't have to fuel interest rates. And you've quickly gone from over 4.16 in the 10-year down to 4 point a fraction, not even 1, 0 and a fraction. So that's part of it. We're going to find out I think it's tomorrow or Wednesday, the Treasury let us know the type of instruments they're going to do all this funding with, how long. It'll go to the end of the month, I'm sure, and we know the amount now. The dollar index went up, but foreign currencies have been coming alive against it after the market. The yen was one of the markets that's come back up. There was a certain amount of safe haven buying today. You could imagine it in bonds, the gold market, but I didn't consider gold the runaway to that. Here's the runaway market. You know, I'm hearing people say, is the market overvalued? Of course. You have gone in a straight line, my friends, since November, and basically just roared from near the 4,100 level. You're up 800 points. You got a 20% rally in the marketplace. When you take a look at what you're doing here, look at this market. You had a couple of days of a break at the beginning of the year, and after that, the market's been just basically taking off. You've got higher lows, higher highs in the market. You have fought a battle at the 18-day average. It was won by the bulls, and the market's lifted. But now, where's the resistance? Well, it's not a moving average because the 200's under the market along with the 100 and the 18-day. So where's that darn Bollinger Band? And you keep hitting it, and you get thrown back. That's exactly what it should do. This I term riding the market. It's the gorilla glue trade. Got it? People use the word riding. I call it gorilla glue. It locks in, and what it does is it forces this to embed, and then the momentum takes over price, and until the red line closes under 79, the breaks in the market typically get bought, and the market keeps looking for a higher high. In this particular case, a new all-time high each time as to where you're at. In the NASDAQ, you have the embedded reading. My subscribers should be applauding me. This was a very good trade. You know where you're at with it. Higher lows, higher highs, still moving up from the looks of it. When it's over, it's over. I'm not going to be able, and nobody can take the last penny out of the market. I don't know where it'll end. It is getting rich. But how rich? I don't know. Could it go to the Bollinger Band? Why not? Until it's over, it isn't over. Get rid of the idea of high and low in your vocabulary and you do better. Does that mean you can't get crazy valuations when you go to the quant analysis and all that? You can. Even the Dow is getting pulled along. It's not embedded. It's overbought and at the Bollinger Band, but it's getting pulled along, as is the Russell 2000. Again, I'm hearing people on CNBC, a woman, I forgot which firm she was with, yeah, you got to buy the Russell. The risk is not in being in it. Okay. The 10-year note, we've come back up and we're now fighting our battle at the 18-day average. Why would anybody want to do anything but short cover and probably go to the sideline and reassess on Wednesday afternoon what the Fed says in the statement and what's said in Mr. Powell's conversation with the press, and then re-enter futures. Futures aren't like investments in stocks and all. You can get in and out very easy. They're much more technical oriented, way more, in my opinion, chart-wise. You have a market that is still oversold. You have a bounce into the 18-day average of closes. In the dollar, I have been predicting that maybe, I was hoping we can get to the 103.90, 104 level. We're not far. Today we got from the high 26 points away, but I was saying that back here. We've had a price count. You've heard me mention that. There is a price count at 103.90. The Linn Group, this is unique to them. They don't share this with other charting services. You have to be a client of Linn's, or you can get a 2-week trial to try the price count. I think you want to try it and see what they do and understand the concept of them. We have paperwork on it. We teach you how to work with them, all that. And we even have charting service where for stocks and all that, you can, for 2 weeks, give it a try. If you open up an account with us, it's yours to use. Don't? Hope you like what you saw. You're not going to get it again. Higher high, lower low. Look at where the market's at with the 100-day average and the Bollinger Band. Are we going to embed? Well, why is this market falling out of bed? Because you have so much discord between the different governors that make up the European Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee. I get one going, no, we're going to move. I get another, we're not going to move until the summertime. And that's throwing the market off. There's no unity in what's being said. Now, ours aren't always with unity either, but it seems to be impacting this much worse, and the market is very worried. I think it'll straighten itself out one way or the other when we on Wednesday, make our announcement, and then you know what already Ms. Lagarde said. Now you have what our Fed chair says. What should you watch for the meeting? It seems to me that I keep reading, I read like a madman, that the wording change that they're looking for is risk to the upside to be removed from the Fed statement. If that's removed, traders take that to mean that the Fed is in serious discussions now as to when the first rate cuts will come in and following. They will not, in my opinion, be eager to make a cut and then all of a sudden have to go up in rates. They may cut and go to a pause. That's not the same as making a cut and raising rates again. But if they had a cut and then raise them, then they're in the Volcker camp. I do not expect that Fed Chair Powell, and I have said this for 2 years here, wants to be associated with what Mr. Volcker did. In fact, it's the exact opposite. He'll stay too long to avoid it. You watch that. That's what I predict. And that means staying his hand too long because he doesn't, when you take it off, going flat's one thing. God forbid he had to go up. He'd say, I made that mistake. You got a higher high, lower low, and you're just sitting here. Now, what bank's meeting this week? But we have Chile, Peru, we have Pakistan come out today. There was another European bank that came out today and held their rates. Everybody's holding or starting to drop rates, so be careful. The move has begun. In the micro Bitcoin, all right, and I have January here. This is wrong. I thought I had changed it. This is February, folks. That's just my error. That should say February. You're back up to the 18-day average of closes. Once you lost the bearish embedded reading, and I can't emphasize this enough, if you haven't taken my enhanced Bollinger Band course, shame on you. Here you're embedded, you lose it. This market should be going to the 18-day average. It all happened at one time, but there's plenty of markets that don't. That tells me, as much as I'm watching the Kramer on TV, that we're going down. One of the analysts that he's enamored with is saying that to him. I'll be my own analyst. When that happens, I don't think you're going down. Then I look at Brent WTI. Now, you were just under 5. Now you're back over 560. So it's back and forth like wild because of the uncertainty as to what's going on in the Mideast here. Nobody knows where this thing's headed other than, I guess, the heads of government. When we look at it, the market got as high today. You can see the warfare, 84.79. If I called you up and told you that the market, you've got this problem, that 3 soldiers have been killed, American soldiers in Jordan. They suspect that it was the surrogates that Iran is supporting. Oil prices, what do you think they're going to do? You and I would both say up. Would I tell you they're going to hold? Would I tell you they're going to hold? Would I tell you they're going to hold? I won't say it again. Are you over the upper Bollinger Band? Do you ever hear me tell a client or you to buy over a Bollinger Band or sell under one? Never. So again, people that bought that up there, they come in and all of a sudden they're $2 underwater. Yeah, $2 underwater. I don't know how to repeat this over and over other than I just keep saying it because, I want people to do that. I want my clients to benefit from these people doing the things that they shouldn't do. Does this mean when it's over, it can't go up here? It's not what I just said. When you buy over that, the odds are 95% of the time stacked against you because the market's going to trade within the band. And you don't know how much it has to fall to get into that band other than if you bought up there, you already knew the band was 83.52, and you're buying at 84, whatever, 79. Somebody bought the high. Got $1.50 that market can fall to get back into the band. And you think that's a good percentage trade. It isn't. What do you do when you get a combination of a 100-day average that you haven't come up to recently and a Bollinger Band? You want to buy that? Somebody is. I go, okay, everybody's got their own technique. And believe me, folks, I put out losing trades. I put out a heck of a lot of winners too, all right? They'll balance. But the key is staying with the winners, cutting those losers, and not doing foolish things. buying over Bollinger Bands and selling under them, in my opinion, is a foolish thing to do. You're up here, did the same thing. Now tonight, you're right back under the band. You do see that. See, it's one thing to take advantage. If you were long, taking money off the table. You're never going to get the high. I know you think you are, and occasionally I'll get the low, I'll get the high. It's luck, all right? You're in a zone, and sometimes it's the exact number. But to buy over or sell under those bands, take my course. It will change how you approach things. Take a look at what this market's doing in natural gas. Still bearish as can be. So even though the Biden administration is doing its darn best to ruin our energy policies, I was watching today the head this morning. It had to be, I'm guessing at 5:10 in the morning. I think it was on CNBC, the head of the API, the CEO. And he was talking sensible. He's going, listen, in spite of the Biden administration, we're producing 13.3 million barrels a day, the most we've ever done. We could be producing a lot more, and oil prices would be lower because of it, not higher, lower. They wouldn't be in the 80s, they'd be lower. The world is not going to change on climate needs. In other words, dropping fossil fuels in a 10-year period or a 20. It's going to be generations. You have to do it step by step, and it's happening. There's wind, there's solar. Okay, I can go on and on. It's made so much sense. It's steps at a time. Economies can't just turn it off like China and say, we don't want you to have any more regular combustion engine cars. We're going to give all the money we can to the automakers so they can subsidize you and give you an electric car. And then we're going to subsidize the charging stations. Well, you can do that, of course. Take a look at the property market, how those philosophies work. Ask businessmen that run there to do business. How many American businesses are running to China to do business? As soon as a business does well, they find a way to screw you out of it. It's that simple. Because it's not good for the people. The company's making too much money. There's graft, got to be graft going on. It's all those things because they don't believe in the free business system. They believe in controlling the business system, which takes away the idea of freedom. And when it's not free anymore, then it's manipulated. Once you manipulate it, away you go. You don't have to believe me. When they don't like how youth unemployment comes out, they stop reporting it. When they don't like how anything they don't like is there, they just stop it. Stock market's going down. We're not allowing short selling. It's really that simple. We're too low. We're going to go in and change the reserve requirements right now. It's manipulation. There's a difference between guidance and manipulation. It's a gray area to a degree. Lower highs, lower lows, still bearish? Nah. There's nothing here friendly. And as long as we're going to have all this demand for our energy this long, that's what's going to be. We need to produce this for our allies. We need to produce it for ourselves, and we are weaning ourselves off of natural gas. Don't you kid yourself. I told you what's going on in Chicago. Right now, the ordinance is there. You want a new high-rise, you're not getting natural gas. You got to go fully electric. This is Chicago, not California. So you're getting differences happening. It's going on. It just takes time. I hope the planet can survive it, but that's what it's going to take. Now, you're going to have all this information this week. This is a wild week. You have the Fed with their monetary policy. You got the JOLTS report, ADP, Challenger Gray for the corporate numbers, U.S. jobs report. Bank of England's going to give you the data. Over 100 companies reporting in the S&P 500 with earnings. What do you do and how do you do it? That's where this all comes in. These are the free offers from our newsletters, to the charts, to the special situation reports. You go there, you sign up, and you start getting these, and you see what we can offer you if you have an account with us. Or if you take my research, work with me, there's different things that work through there. There's a cursor up at the top. Give it a click. Otherwise, go to iraepstein.com. That's all you got to do. Then go to free offers on the top left. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll see you first thing in the morning. Who knows what tonight's going to hold. Take care.